What is going on, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful day wherever you live. And in this video, I'm going to talk about something that everybody, I think, should be concerned about when thinking about buying a car. And this is the reason I make these vlogs and other things about my car, is for people looking to buy a G8. And what I'm going to cover is, what do I think do I think the Pontiac G8 is unreliable? Now, there are some people out there that would say the Pontiac G8 is unreliable. I think it's all based also on personal opinion too. You can think anything's unreliable, you think hard enough. But here's my experience with it. I'm going to say no, this car is not unreliable at all, because I haven't had a single issue with it for 2 years. Knock on dashboard. I'm not superstitious, I'm just saying that. Basically, I have not had a single issue. So getting back to that, I have not had a single issue with this car for 2 years. And the only major issues I ever had with it, if you can call them issues, were the tires kept cracking and the body control module failed. And I'll tell you the two stories real quick. So number one, the tires were cracking all the time. So this was like 2 years ago, year and a half into ownership of the car. Tires kept cracking. So Bridgestone kept replacing them like for 3 times. They replaced them for 3 times until finally they were like, no, we can't replace them anymore. So I went and bought some Michelin Pilot Sport AS3s. Well, that would be like a year ago. I kept running the Bridgestones until I could get the Michelins. That's how it worked. But basically, they kept cracking real small cracks down the tread, which isn't good. I think you could drive on them, but it wasn't good. And they kept replacing them, this and that, and that was more of an inconvenience than a reliability issue. It wasn't definitely anything Pontiac did, because the car wasn't Pontiac's fault. That was Bridgestone's issue. So that was one thing I had an issue with. The other thing was the body control module failed. And basically what happened was, it was cold out, it was winter time, it was like February, I think. I was doing some errands in Longmont. It was nighttime, it was getting close to nighttime. I was waiting for my mom to come out of the UPS store. Turned on my rear defrost, because it was frosting up a bit, and the whole car went nuts, like literally went absolutely berserk. Radio started going up and down, gauges started sweeping back and forth, it started making like ABS fault, traction control service messages, engine oil low. It went absolutely nuts. So we ended up having it towed to the local dealership, which has our fantastic technician, Dan Allen. He's a fantastic tech. He's a world master class technician. Great guy, great technician. Towed it there. And I can't explain this. Towed it there. It was nighttime. They couldn't work on it that night. So the next morning, he got in, started the thing up. The thing wouldn't start after it did that. It actually shut off after it went haywire and could not restart. That's why I had to have it towed. It started up and ran just fine with no error codes or anything on. Okay? And to kind of give you a little back history, I had been having a random check engine light for no reason come on. So we knew there was something electronically going on with the car that wasn't right. We were just kind of watching it to see what had happened, and then it did that to me. And then when he starts up, he's like, what are they talking about? Everything's fine. It's running just great. And I'm like, well, that's why it was towed here. It wasn't running fine then. So he was like, okay, let's just watch it and see if it does it again. I think it was 2 days later, it did the same thing, except this time I was able to continue to drive it and took it there, dropped it off, and this person is right on my butt, if you can see that. Basically took it there, dropped it off, and they saw what it was doing, and they said, okay, there is definitely something wrong. And luckily it was under the extended certified pre-owned warranty, so I was happy about that. And they started looking at it, and he dove into the wiring of this thing and started figuring out, okay, if that went wrong, then that has to all route back to this. And shorten the story up, it came down to the body control module had completely went nuts. It failed, and it was causing all sorts of issues. And basically GM had updated it because they probably saw that there was an issue with them, and there was an updated unit out there, so he ordered that in, and it was in there like 3 hours. I mean, it was in 3 hours. I had the car back the same day, fixed, ready to go. Haven't had a single issue since we put in the body control module. So yeah, that was definitely an issue, but that was the only 2 issues I've ever had with the car, was that. Otherwise, car doesn't use hardly any oil. It uses a little bit, but that's normal for these engines. Gets great gas mileage. I can beat on it all I want, takes it. It's at 34,000 miles almost. Great car, completely reliable. It starts up. It's just that This road is kind of bouncy, so I'm bouncing around, and so are you. So yeah, that is my story with that, and I would say no, this car is not unreliable. This car is very reliable, and it's been a great car, and I have to say I'm hoping to have many more years of trouble-free service, hopefully. Watch, I'll say this and watch my engine will disintegrate or something will happen. But yeah, so that's my thing. I say no, it is not unreliable at all. So those are my two issues. I'd say go, if you're looking to buy one of these, go to the G8 board. That's what it's called, G8, B-O-R-A-D, I think is how they spell it. Great resources there. Anything you want to know is there. People who have major issues with their G8s. Of course, out of every manufacturer you're going to buy, there's bound to be cars that people get that they are just headaches for them. It just is bound to happen. If all the cars being made, it's bound to happen. So, you know, keep that in mind. But no, I don't think the G8s are unreliable at all. So yeah, that's my take on it. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. If you're here for the first time, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And like my video, and check out the rest of my channel. There's some pretty awesome G8 stuff on there and some other car things. And hopefully this new setup here is okay, because I kind of like the way it is. It's upside down. I'm going to have to work on that. But if I like it, I'll keep it. And I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching, everybody.